This is Khlong Hae Temple in Hat Yai, and just behind is Khlong Hae Floating Market, and it's been closed for a long time because of COVID, and I wasn't sure whether it was open again. It's quite difficult to get good information at the moment. When you ask people, they just don't know, and it's the same if you ask me, I just don't know. And I know that the restrictions have been relaxed a bit in Thailand recently, so I wasn't sure whether this place might have opened again, but it still appears to be closed. But I'm here anyway, so we'll just take a quick look around. It's a Saturday afternoon, and under normal circumstances this place would already be quite busy, and it would be busy right into the evening. And as you can see, at the moment there's nothing. This is the canal it's based upon, and down here is the jetty where the vendors moor their boats to sell food and drinks. When I first got to Hat Yai, this place wasn't here. There were some big floating markets just outside Bangkok, Dam Nern Saduak and Ampawar. They're still there and going strong, but not many floating markets in the provinces. And when tourists come to Thailand, they always want to do certain things, you know, Thai massage, Thai cooking, want to see Thai boxing, Thai food, and visit a floating market. And when this place first opened, it was a huge success. At first it was just locals, and then about the third or fourth time I came, all the Malaysian tour buses were outside, and there were lots of tourists as well, and it's done well ever since. And because of the success of this one, floating markets started to open everywhere else. There's one in Burma in Hat Yai, and there was another one in Hat Yai, and there was one in Khao Chai Son in Patalong province, and just everywhere they were opening floating markets. And it didn't even matter if there was no water. In Khao Chai Son they just dug a hole in the ground, filled it with water, and then called it a floating market. These are the food stalls inside, which are all empty and deserted. And with these places they need lots of visitors every week to keep them going. And if you just rely on local custom, there's not enough people, because if you live here, if you're a local, you don't go to a floating market every week. I live here and we might go once or twice a year. So you depend very much on tourism. And Khlong Hae, this one, was the first floating market in this area, and very successful. Lots of tourists came, and they continued to come. Well, they did up until COVID. So this one's kept going, but the others were just visited by locals, not tourists, and there just wasn't enough business, and in the end they closed. I think the one at Khao Chai Son has closed, and the one at Burma they halved the size after a very short time, and I'm not even sure if that one's still going. Lots of cats around today. I'm not sure who's feeding them or whether they're just finding food for themselves. They're all pretty friendly and pretty hungry. Sawasdee krab. ตลาดน้ำยังปิดใช่ไหมครับปิดค่ะรู้ไหมครับจะเปิดเมื่อไรยังไม่มีกำหนดค่ะโอเคไม่มีใครรู้โอเคครับ I think she's feeding ให้หาแมวใช่ไหมครับมีหลายตัว She's feeding the cats. Okay, at least they're getting some food. Tambun, hai ha mao. The lady I spoke to says no one knows when it's going to reopen, and my wife was telling me the other day that Songkhla is 4th in the table for COVID cases in Thailand at the moment. So not a great place to be. And when the market's open, you can do a little boat trip along this canal, which is quite pleasant. As I said, we don't tend to come here very often, only once or twice a year, but when you do come, it makes a nice excursion. And this is another reason why there hasn't been much content on my YouTube channel recently. One very valid reason is that I'm busy all the time, but the other thing is that if I decide to go and do a video of somewhere, it's probably going to be closed at the moment. I've been wanting to do a video of this place for a long time, and I'm still not really able to do one because as it stands at the moment, there's just nothing of interest. These are temple grounds, and this is a Buddhist temple, but in Hat Yai there are no really spectacular Buddhist temples like you'll find in other areas of Thailand, in Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Chiang Rai and other locations. And I think the reason for that is the ethnic makeup down here in the deep south. There are a lot of Muslims, there are a lot of ethnic Chinese, so the money that's donated to build places of worship gets divided up. And in downtown Hat Yai there are a couple of very large Chinese temples, and there are mosques, and there are Buddhist temples, but as I say, there's nothing really spectacular. But there is a very attractive place of worship here, and that's where I'm making my way to now. Pu Kau Ma Tambun, those coming to make merit. Sai Mes La Raksa Raya Tang Tukon, wear your face mask and keep your social distance. So this is the place I was talking about. It's just adjacent to Khlong Hae temple, and I haven't been here for quite a long time, and from what I can already see, it's really changed since I was here, and it's looking fantastic. And in Hat Yai, a lot of the construction workers are ethnic Mon from Burma, and Burma is another Buddhist country, and obviously the construction workers that will live here permanently and want a place of worship, so they all donated money. And I'm not sure whether they bought this land or whether this land was donated, but they've built a miniature replica of the famous pagoda in Burma, and this is it. And the last time I was here, they hadn't finished the floor and they hadn't done all this painting, and now it's looking really fantastic. Let's just take a stroll around. And if you come to Hat Yai and visit the floating market, if it's open, I would definitely recommend coming to this place. It's just a 5-minute walk from the floating market. The inside appears to be closed, but I can just walk around the perimeter. Yeah, these little jetties weren't here last time I came, and none of this painting was done. It's still not finished. The floor is still just raw concrete. I would imagine they're going to put down tiles at one point, and there's paint pots here, so they're still in the process of doing painting. Yeah, it looks fantastic, especially from this side. I've got the sun behind my back now, so we've got good light, a beautiful blue sky in the background, and that looks quite spectacular. Wow. So just now I said there aren't really any spectacular temples in Hat Yai, but this is probably the nearest you'll get to visiting a spectacular Buddhist temple in Hat Yai. a lot of the guys that did work on my house are ethnic Mon from Burma. And with these places you can stand back and admire them, and as you go further in you notice all the small detail. So much work, so many man hours has gone into this. These ones aren't painted yet. Oh, fantastic. So it's probably about 2 or 3 years since I was here last, so it's changed a lot since I last saw it. We've got these barriers here, so we can't go inside. The writing's faded, so I can barely read it. I'm not even sure what this temple is called. I normally just refer to it as the Burmese temple, but I'm sure it has a name, and hopefully we might see a sign in a minute and I'll be able to tell you the name. Just going to put some money into the donation box. Borijakที่ไหนครับตู้บริจาคในรถนะครับเองครับขับเองรถอยู่ไหนอ่ะที่โจรถฝั่งโน้นทำไมไม่ออกมานี้ไม่เป็นไรออกกำลังกายวัดนี่ชื่ออะไรครับวัดคลองแหไม่ใช่วัดพม่าของวัดคลองแหเหมือนกันเอาเหมือนกันใช่แต่พม่าเขาทำเจดีย์ใช่แต่พม่าก็ออกตังคนไทยเราก็ออกตังแต่ที่ดินนั้นดินของวัดคลองแหซื้อ5 ไร่ 3 หาน4 ล้าน 8 4 ล้าน 8 4 ล้าน 8ผมก็เป็นกรรมการที่นี้ซื้อดินนี้แต่ก่อนนั่นที่ดิน4 ล้าน 8ใช่ไหมครับ4 ล้าน 8แต่ก่อนมันน้ำคูลึกเลยมันไม่สวยนี่ตรงนี้ใครจ่ายครับเงินเอาดินมาผมว่าเป็นล้านนั่นนี่นะ5 ไร่ 3เป็นยักษ์แบบนี้5 ไร่กว่า5 ไร่ 3 หานโอเคแต่ช่วงนี้ถ้าตามหลักถ้าไม่มีเจดีย์ถ้าขายกันขาย10 ล้านมันจะโอเค so ไม่มีชื่อเองครับ isวัดคลองแหเหมือนกันครับใช่เนี่ยพม่าเขามาทำฝีมือของพม่าทั้งหมดไอ้เจดีย์นี่มีของก่อสร้างเยอะก่อสร้างเขาเป็นคนช่างลูกน้องก็ทำเองทำงานหัดใหญ่ทำงานไทยเราก็เพียงแต่ว่าเราหาเงินมาช่วยเขาหาเงินมาช่วยแต่ที่ดินนั้นวัดคลองแหถือแต่ว่าไอ้นี้ฝีมือของเขาทั้งหมดคนไทยไม่มีเลยครับฝีมือพม่าทั้งหมดที่นี้ที่ตาสีนี่คนไทยทำอยู่ช่างที่ก่อสร้างบ้านของพ่อมเป็นพม่ามอนเป็นคนมอนใช่แล้วกลับไปเมืองการเนี่ยขึ้นไปแถวอยู่แถวนู้นนะเขาทำงานก่อสร้างเขามีลูกมีเมียแต่แล้วเขาบวชตอนได้ลูกได้เมียแล้วมาอยู่ที่นี่เลยครอบครัวทั้งหมดโมเดิร์นเชื่อไม่ได้กล้องใช่เล็กกว่าผมยกมาเขามาถ่ายภาพเขามาทำเงินประมาณ 70-80% เลยของชาวเวียกองมาทำแต่มันเสียแดดมันต่ำไปแต่ได้สูงมันโอเคขอบคุณครับโชคดีครับ So he was just telling me that this land here is just over 5 rai. Rai is a unit of measurement in Thailand for area, and apparently there was a problem with flooding here before, and the land was sold to them for 4,800,000 baht. I think most people are aware by now that Thailand operates a dual pricing system, which means that wherever you go in Thailand, there are two prices. There is a Thai price and a foreigner price. And people have different views about this. I have my views that I won't go into at the moment. But I have a Thai friend. I've known him years. I've actually met him on my first trip to Thailand back in '87, and I've kept in touch. He lives in the States. And his theory is that dual pricing is because foreigners don't donate money when they come to temples. And merit making is a very important part of the Thai belief system. So whenever they come to a temple, they give money, and the idea is that, you know, if they give money, then good things will happen to them in their lives. But foreigners don't have the same belief system, so they don't give money. So to make up for that, the Thais have to charge them more than they do Thai people. So it's quite important when you do visit a temple just to put some money into the donation box, because these places, it takes a lot of money for their construction and upkeep. And when you do so, the locals are always very grateful. I would go as far to say that this temple is to Hat Yai what Rong Kun temple is to Chiang Rai. And I don't really like this idea that if you visit somewhere, you have to go to this place and have to go to that place. I just like to do things in a relaxed manner. And, you know, I don't tell people that they have to go here and have to go there. But if you do visit Hat Yai, I think you would appreciate a visit here, because it is so attractive and there's just so much work gone into it, and the results are really stunning. Just had a quick chat to the gentleman here on my way out, and another way you can donate besides giving money is to buy one of these tiles, and these are the floor tiles that they're going to put down. As I said before, it's just concrete at the moment. And when they saw me doing a video, they asked me to tell the world, because this place needs help. And at the moment, they've got very few people coming because the floating market is closed. So normally people come to the floating market and come here. There's just no people coming here at the moment. So they want me to publicise this as much as I can. And if you're watching this and you get to Hat Yai, please visit the Mon temple at Khlong Hae temple. Mon is the ethnicity of the people who constructed this temple, and today has seen some mixed fortune. My attempt to show you the floating market at Khlong Hae was a complete failure, and because no one knows when it's going to open again, I'm not sure when I'm going to be able to come back and do a video of the floating market when it's open. But the visit to this Mon temple, I think, has been a success. I've really enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed it too. So thank you for watching. If you have any comments, questions or other feedback, please leave them below, and hopefully there'll be some more videos soon.